at Applet, we can see that we have two lines. We have this line here, which is running this way, which has a gradient of 1. You can see for every one along, you go 1 up. For every one along, you go 1 up. And then we have this line here, and we notice that this here is a right angle. So we say that these two lines are perpendicular. And this line has a gradient of, for every one along, you go 1 down. So it has a gradient of -1. So the gradient of L1 at the moment is 1. And the gradient of L2 is -1 over 1. If I change the gradient, being 2, they're still perpendicular. But now we will see that the gradient of this line is, for every one along, we go 2 up. So that's a gradient of 2. And for this one, for every 2 along, we go 1 down. So that's a gradient of -1/2. And if we did 3, same idea happened again. For every 1, we go 3 up. And for every 3 squares along, we go 3 down. 1 down, sorry. So it means this has a gradient of, this line has a gradient of 3, and this gradient has a line of 1 -1 over 3. Now, if you multiply these two numbers together, 3 times -1 over 3, you get -1. And the same will be true for that one and that one, and for all the other ones here. This one as well. Even if we went this way, okay, this is now a positive gradient of positive 1/2. These are minus signs will cancel out. This will be -2. If we multiply them together, we get a gradient of -1, and that is a condition for perpendicular lines. Now you won't get 1 at this one because it's trying to do 1 divided -1 divided by 0, which doesn't work out. It's infinite. It's going to be a vertical line. Okay, so what are the rules for perpendicular lines? So if m1, the gradient of the first line, times the gradient of the second line is equal to -1, then the two lines are perpendicular. If one line has a gradient of m1, the gradient of any perpendicular line, which we call m2, will always be -1 over m1. Right, so if you've got the gradient of 1, maybe it's easier if I make this 2. If you've got the gradient of 1, which is 2, the gradient of the line which is perpendicular to it will be -1 over that number, which is 2. That's what that says. And then if m1 is equal to m2, then the two lines will be parallel. They will always be parallel. So the important thing to remember is this formula here. m2 is equal to -1 over m1 is the important thing to remember for this formula. Okay, so this has been a quick video about perpendicular lines. I hope you've understood, and I thank you very much for watching.